Prop the mic, PTM. Here we are on a Tuesday, not a Monday, May 30th, day one of WNBA discussions on Prop the mic. Are you excited?
It's a historical day.
It is.
We'll look back at this day
positively or negatively,
one way or the other. Why did we do that, or why didn't we do that sooner?
Could be.
But I think it's going to be the latter. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I've always had some interest in the league. Actually, you can see on my shelf up here, these cans were actually cans that were created in the inaugural WNBA season.
Cool.
So I've had a little history and interest in the WNBA, but this is really going to take it to the next level. We're gonna find out a lot.
Oh yeah. We don't know much, so we're learning now too. We're gonna I think take you through the process a bit here. Kind of how we get our heads around some of these bets and what teams are good, what teams are not. We have the historical catalog of knowledge from NBA, but we're trying to get there with WNBA as well. So.
Yeah, like you said, it's basically the same process. It wasn't until a couple seasons ago that we started watching NBA as much. So we're just going to go through the same process, except this should be a little easier. There's only 12 teams in the WNBA. So a lot less players, roster size is smaller. So, and quite honestly, from a prop standpoint, the books don't offer as deep of props. I haven't seen any altered lines. I haven't seen, things like steals, or I think I saw one block. So it's a lot simpler. So yeah, should make it easiasier.
And seems like we're going to be leaning more on prize picks, I think, here, because they seem to have some some good offerings.
Theirs is the deepest offering, and then I've seen DraftKings around this time of the day they put up their props as well, so that's also an option as well. All right, so first, let's just dive into today's games. There's 4 games tonight. That's why we wanted to start, because usually most of these days you only have 2 games. But given that it's an off day for the NBA, WNBA is going pretty deep on games. So let's start. Let's just start with my first observation. Las Vegas is really good.
It seems so. Yes,
it would seem so. They are 4-0 on the season. They're scoring 96.5 points per game, which is very high for this league, and allowing 71.8 points per game. They are number 1 in scoring, number 1 in rebounding, and number 2 in assists. So they seem to be in a bit of a class by themselves. But you got teams like Connecticut, Chicago, and even New York who seem to be will rival them a bit. But so far in this early season, it does look like Las Vegas is the team to beat.
I thought the Liberty were supposed to be that team. No, wasn't that the chatter?
Yeah, but they've got a lot of new pieces, so it's going to take them a little while to put it all together.
Yes.
All right, so let's dive into today's first game. We got Chicago Sky at the Atlanta Dream. Dream are -3.5 at home. The Sky are 3-1 on the season. Dream are 1-2. So Sky are definitely the better of the two teams. The Sky is scoring 78.8 points per game and giving up 73.5. Dream are scoring 82.7, giving up 84. So could be a decent amount of scoring by the Sky in this game. All right, what do you like in terms of matchups?
Good thing you didn't ask me who I'm picking. That's
No, we're gonna start. We're gonna cover matchups.
Yeah. So actually, this might be. So I basically used the same model that I use for NBA matchups, and just kind of populating it with the thing about. I think Seattle's played 2 games, but most of the teams have played 3 or 4 games at least.
3 or 4 games, yeah.
Yeah. So we're starting to get that populated with data here, and some things are starting to pop out. This might be the best matchup that I saw today, forwards against Atlanta. So you have that would be Kalia Copper is the forward for the Chicago Sky. Correct, I believe.
Sure.
So forwards against Atlanta averaging 22 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. That's on an average of 17 field goal attempts, 4 free throw attempts. So should be lots of scoring from Miss Copper here. So that's somebody that I'm going to want to target today, I think.
You want to dive into her props.cash view?
Yeah, I think we should. I'll while you bring that up, I'll call it the other matchup. It's on the other side of the ball. Centers against Chicago seem to be performing well. 16.7 points per game, 9.3 rebounds. So Cheyenne Parker is going to be who we'd look at on that side. But yeah, let's take a look here. Props.
And we apologize up front if we mispronounce any of the names as we're learning the players.
Yeah, let us know.
Certainly, as we watch more and more, we're gonna get all this right.
Yeah.
All right. So, we got Kalia Copper. Point line is 16.5. Looks like she's covered that in 1 out of 3 games this season. But
okay.
You also said rebounding is pretty good.
Yeah, we had 8.8 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists. So what are we at for a rebound line there?
Rebounding line is set at 5.5. She's covered that in 2 out of 4 games so far this season. And keep in mind, these lines on props.cash, they get pulled from Prize Picks, right? What I've found so far is that in most of these cases, they're about a point or so higher on Prize Picks. Okay, so
higher to account for the fact that you have to parlay.
Yeah. So if you see a line that like is off by a point, like hitting multiple times, if we were to lower it a point, that's actually worth digging into a little bit more, because sometimes on DraftKings the lines will be instead of like 17.5 points, it might be 16.5 points. So okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. And then assists. We got 2.5 assists. Done that in 1 out of 4. So not great hit rates so far for Miss Copper. What do you think?
Seems like something that, nothing that I'm going to jump at right here. She's getting close there in the points wise, the first game 20 and the 15-16 in a good matchup. It's something that I might lean towards, but I think maybe we can try to see if we could try to find something else.
Yeah,
here.
I would say the points probably looks, like you said, looks the best. 16.5 points. If we can get that for 15.5 on DraftKings, that might be worth giving a shot tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's look at
Parker.
Cheyenne Parker. All right. So the Dream have played 3 games so far. She's cleared her point line of 15.5 by a pretty good margin. 18 points in the first game, 12 in the second, and 21 in the third. Second game, she only played 25 minutes. So it does look like if she plays north of 25, she's got a pretty good shot of clearing this 15.5.
Yeah, I'd look over at the rebounds were also nice. So I'm kind of just jumping ahead a little bit here, but I think a PR play, you're not going to find that on DraftKings or FanDuel, so you'd have to go, but on Prize Picks they do offer these combos and quite regularly. So I don't know, I that one is by quite a bit, and those were the 2 categories to target. It was centers averaging 16.7 points and 9.3 rebounds per game against Chicago. So you have 17, 20, that's 26 right there. Her line's 22.5, and you see she's gotten 29 and 27. So yeah, that might be something that I definitely would take a look at.
Okay. And nothing really on assists, right?
No, nothing on assists. Yeah, that
Okay.
center position. Yeah.
All right, cool. Anything else on this game? Any other
No,
players pop? No?
that was it.
All right, so go. All right, so good. So we got two players, maybe a Parker points play or a Parker PR is what you
Yeah.
like the most,
Hmm.
and Copper points if you can get a little bit lower than 14 and a half would be great. 15 and a half is probably okay as well. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
So those are the two plays for that game. Let's go to the next game. We got the Fever at the Sun. The Fever are 1-2 on the season, and the Sun are 3-1. Interesting thing about the Fever, they score. Let me see, were they? Yeah, they're the second lowest scoring team in the league with 74.7 points per game,
Hmm.
and they give up a ton of points as well. They give up 82.3. So they just had a big win the other day, but I wouldn't expect them to win tonight. The line on this game is Sun minus 12.5. Connecticut is also gives up a decent number of points, but also doesn't score a ton. They score 75.8 points and they've given up 74.3. So they've kind of eked by a couple of games as well. So, all right. So what do you like? Anything in this matchup?
So I think you have a fade spot here, possibly, but I don't know if it's just because, I mean, you did mention that teams have been scoring against Indiana. I didn't know if it was just because maybe the games have gotten away from them or whatnot, but guards have a pretty bad matchup here, only averaging 8.4 points per game, averaging only 8 field goal attempts. So you have two players, Natisha Heidemann and Tiffany Hayes, who are the two guards for Connecticut. So that might look into a fade on them. Let's see. Maybe we can pull up props and see what's going on. And then centers on both sides are in good matchups. Centers against Indiana, averaging 17 points per game on 11 field goal attempts. So that's Brianna Jones for the Connecticut Sun. And then on the other side, centers against Connecticut, averaging 16.7 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game. That's Aaliyah Boston. So those are four players that we can look at.
Okay. Let's pull that up.
Yeah.
I like that. You're already fading.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to the main screen. Pull up this game. All right, so the first player you talked about was Heidemann,
Heidemann,
right?
Yeah. Yep.
And let's look at points, right?
Yeah.
So she's on Connecticut. She's only cleared her line of 8.5 points in in 1 out of 4 games, right? So, playing time, that second game she only played 22 minutes. Does play big minutes, right? I think these are only 40-minute games, so
Yeah. Oh, wow.
that
35,
concerns me a
37.
little
Wow.
bit. But overall, could be a good play. What do you think?
That's looking good. I want to see the other guard. Let's compare the two guards here. Let's go to Tiffany Hayes and see what she's doing. I see she started out with 23 minutes in the first two games, but then jumped up to 31 and 33 and then cleared her points line in each of the
Yeah,
last two.
right. Scored 5 and an 8. Looks like they played Indy in the first game of the season too, and scored 5 against them. But yeah, does definitely looks like a little bit of a risky play, just given the increased playing time.
Yeah, yeah. And stay away from that one. Not really looking too appealing here. And
Yeah, I
then
would say Heidemann is probably a better play, but again, just like we said, the points line at 8.5. That might I didn't look, but on DraftKings that might be 7.5. So you got to be
yeah,
careful there too, playing unders.
yeah. And then you can take a look at these two centers here, Jones and Boston.
Yep. All right, so we got Brianna Jones. Has cleared her line in 1 out of 4 games so far this year. On the point side, and then on the rebound side, that's looking more appealing. It's cleared in 3 out of 4 games so far.
Jones, 7.5. And where did I have here? It was more the center. It was more of a the rebounds were not popping as much. It was more of a points play on this one. Matchup wise. So again, not something that I'd jump to, even though those rebounds look good. The rebounds were not one of the. It was really the points specifically on this play that was popping off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, New York, she had 8 rebounds against New York, but played 35 minutes. New York's the second best rebounding team in the league, averaging 38.3 rebounds per game behind Vegas. So, but if she only played 28 minutes, she probably wouldn't have come close to that line. So, and when they did play Indy in the first game of the season, she had 9 rebounds and 26. So that, to me, 9 rebounds and 13 points. I don't know. I kind of like the rebounds there.
You like that? All right.
But let's look at Boston. All right. So points, 2 out of 3, just getting there. Had 15 when they played in the first game of the season. Okay. Line is 14.5 points. And rebounds also looking pretty good, 2 out of 3. She had 9 rebounds in 24 minutes. I like that.
I like that. I like the matchup too. They're averaging almost 10 rebounds a game, centers against Connecticut. So that might be something. I think I'm liking that rebound play, maybe even more so than the other.
Yeah, I would say so far out of everything we've looked at, Aaliyah Boston, 6.5 rebounds.
Rebounds looking good.
Looking good. Okay, cool. All right, done with this game?
Yep.
All right.
In terms of matchups, I don't know if you want to run through the just the game for Minnesota Dallas. No matchup was really popping out, so I don't think we'll dig into anything on props. But
yeah, my gut tells me so. The Lynx are 0-4 this season. They seem to be the worst team in the league. Dallas Wings are 2-1. So they're one of the better teams in the league, but the Lynx are only scoring 74.3 points, giving up 86, right? That's why they're 0-4. Whereas the Wings are scoring 89.3 points. So they're actually second in the league in scoring. So they're going to score a ton tonight. But they're also giving up 87.7. So it seems like Dallas scores a lot, but doesn't play a lot of defense. So
like the Sacramento Kings.
Kind of sounds like also another team in Dallas.
That we covered that's true.
During the Kyrie era. So I think my gut, just looking at that, Dallas at home -6 points in the game seems like a good play.
Okay.
I would probably play that one. Again, I've been playing a little bit of WNBA so far, and I've been kind of playing more live, so I can get a feel for the teams. So sometime in the first quarter or something, play this if you like the way Dallas is playing, and possibly even if the Lynx go up early, you can get a better value than 6 points. But 6 points.
What's your strategy? What's your strategy there? Are you looking to see what the line was before the game, and then you're really that's what you're playing, the movement on that line after the beginning of the first quarter?
Yeah, and what I've been prioritizing, in terms of which team is going to win, I just look at rebounds. I really think rebounding is a huge aspect of winning in the WNBA. It's obviously a big aspect of winning in the NBA as well, but I think even more so in the WNBA. So I've been kind of finding which team is out rebounding the other, and if there's a significant advantage on rebounding, I've been focusing on that. So
okay.
All right, so we're going to skip that one for props. There were no matchups. Again, everything we're talking about is like a 3-game or 4-game sample. So not huge data points, especially if one of these teams played the Aces. A lot of their numbers are going to be off. So take that with all this with a grain of salt right now. But so far that's what we got. And then We got the Liberty at the Storm. Liberty are 2-1 on the season, and the Storm are 0-2. Storm are getting 14.5 points at home, so they look pretty horrendous. Liberty scoring 78.3 points per game, giving up 72.7. So they're actually one of the better defensive teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And the Storm are scoring 77.5 points per game, giving up 100 points per game. So only a 2-game sample so far, but it does seem like the Liberty might just roll over the Storm tonight.
Yeah. All right, so that kind of plays into my matchup here. So after that, although we didn't find anything great on Copper, that forward matchup against Atlanta, the next best matchup that was on my sheet here were guards against Seattle. So Liberty's got two of the best guards I think in the league, Sabrina Ionescu and Courtney Vandersloot. So I think we can look at those two players for sure. Averaging almost 18 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 4.6 assists per game. So it's a nice par number, PRA, possibly, for either one of those two players. And then on the other end, you have fade-worthy matchups here for centers on both sides. Obviously you got to take it with a grain of salt, but because only the 2-game sample, I guess. But centers against Seattle only averaging 7 points per game, 5 field goal attempts per game. So that's Jonquel Jones on the Liberty. We can look to possibly fade here. And then on the other side, centers against the Liberty have just not been rebounding, averaging 5 rebounds a game against the Liberty.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's Ezzy McBeggar for Seattle. So we may want to look, and I actually did look into this one. I think her line's at 7. So I didn't see on props. On Prize Picks. So maybe if you want to look at that one first when we pull it up. I thought that was a possible fade there, but I didn't see what she's done this season so far.
Yeah. Going back to rebounding, I will say New York is the second best rebounding team in the league with 38.3 rebounds.
There you go.
And Seattle is the third worst in the league with 33 rebounds. So you got a 5 rebound discrepancy there between the two teams. So I do like that. Any play that involves rebounds, probably. All right. Let's dive into this one. All right. So you want to start with Ezzy McBeggar.
So she crushed against Dallas. But then against Vegas, who I think is a good comp for New York, probably, right?
Yes.
I only had 5.
Yeah.
So not a lot of data to go
fade.
off.
That's a scary fade with 7.5 rebounds, but
yeah, I'm kind of feeling it too. I like that.
I'm kind of feeling an Ezzy fade. Under 7.5 rebounds. Again, that might be 6.5 on DraftKings. Would you still play it at 6.5?
Would I still play it at 6.5? Had 5 against Vegas. It wouldn't be my first play, but I probably still would. I see it's actually, I don't know why it's like this. The line on Prize Picks is actually 7 even. It's not 7.5.
Yeah, it moves around.
Yeah. So
all right, and then points for Ezzy.
It was really the rebounds that were really sticking out as the fade on that one. Points were more middle of the pack.
Yeah, I like that. All right, and then you wanted to look.
Let's set at Ionescu and Vandersloot.
What about Jones?
And Jones. I don't want to fade her though.
No, I think I would stay away from fading just because. Oh, look at those rebounds.
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't really play big minutes either, huh?
No. And it's the points. It's the points too. That was the one to fade. See, it's 2 of 3. 2 of 3, and the 5. I like the 5 and 7 because only averaging 7 points per game, taking 5 shots a game. against Seattle.
Yeah. I feel like
You
that
like more
9.5
rebounds.
points could be a good fade. No?
9.5 points to fade that. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
All right. Cool. And then let's go over to the guards. Got Ionescu. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she
I
is.
remember watching her in college. She's gone over in 2 out of 3 games. So she plays pretty good minutes. She's played 30 plus minutes every game.
Yeah, the assists up and down. Rebound, very, very consistent rebounder, 8.87. And let's see, but her line is high, right? Yeah, 7.5. I mean, I see the guards averaging 4.2 rebounds, and that was among the higher ones. But for a guard, I mean, she's a good rebounder for a guard.
Yeah, I would say if you can get that rebounds at 6.5 on DraftKings, I think that could be a good play.
Yeah.
Let me check. I'm going to check that while you.
Um,
Anything else you want to look at for her?
For her, no. I think Courtney Vandersloot might be the play here.
Yeah, Ionescu rebounds on DraftKings is 7.5. So we'll pass on that. That's too close. Vandersloot points.
This one was across the board. I think we should look at points. Points and assists maybe could be a nice way to go. She is like, I believe, the more of the point guard for the Liberty, as opposed to like the off guard.
Yeah, she's cleared points and assists in 2 out of 3 games. Assists alone looks pretty good. New York is the highest assisting team in the league, 23.7 assists per game, in front of Vegas at 22.5.
I'm liking that. I'm liking that one against a bad Seattle team.
Yeah, Seattle's the worst. Not that it matters for this stat, but just to throw it out there, Seattle's the worst assisting team in the league. They only get 13 assists per game. Oof. That's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of liking. I'm liking her assists here, 7.5. That seems like a nice play.
Yeah, that's on DraftKings for over 7.5 minus 110. So pretty good value.
Nice, yeah. And I would look at the maybe the points and assists. I like how she crushed that line in that Connecticut game.
Yeah, she played big minutes in that Connecticut game.
Yeah, I see that 34. Yeah.
They like blew them out, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
I think they did. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so I think that runs through everybody, right?
I think so.
So what were you feeling?
I feel like I'm a fire hose to the mouth right now, absorbing a lot of players, learning how to pronounce their names. Trying not to say the NBA team names when I talk about the city.
Yes.
But this is cool. This is good stuff. And I think there's a lot less eyes on the WNBA, so I think there's probably a lot more opportunity here, especially compared to like the NBA finals.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world is looking at that. Not as many people are looking at this right now. So definitely a few plays. I think Aaliyah Boston, what was that? 6.5 rebounds, was that?
Yeah, rebounds. Yeah.
That might have been my favorite play. I think we got to do McBeggar under 7.5 rebounds.
Vandersloot, you like the assist?
Oh, and Vandersloot, 7.5 assists.
I think those are the 3 faves.
I think so. I don't know. Jonquel Jones under 9.5 points was pretty good too. It doesn't look like she plays very much. I don't know why. I want to understand that better.
I mean, she's really a forward, I believe, playing some center, and I think they have this Han Zhu, I believe, who didn't start the season, but she's like the center, I think, for the Liberty, who I think is now, I believe I saw some stuff she was playing last game, so I don't know, not sure exactly, But we're giving you a little glimpse behind the curtain here, and and seeing how we're getting our heads around this league here, and kind of how we hone in on picks. So I don't know. I guess we'll reconvene. We put some stuff out there, and kind of just put a pick up of probably two picks, like a prize pick. Is that what we're gonna do up on Twitter?
I mean, my preference would be to put up straight plays. I think we'll do
Okay.
that for now. As we get
Okay.
better at this, we'll put up parlays. I don't want to try to nail two of these at once to start. But what I would say is, during the NBA season, we got tons of good feedback from our followers, people asking questions. Feel free to engage, ask some questions, give us your thoughts if you've got some experience in the WNBA. That'll help us get up to speed faster. But I guarantee you, within a couple weeks of doing this, we're going to be all over this. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so we'll start small, and then once NBA wraps up, we'll probably run with this pretty quickly. All right.
Yeah. Sounds good. This was a little
Good
different,
stuff.
but it was good. It was good. So
Yeah, go get a WNBA hat now.
yeah, I know. Sparks. Let's go, Sparks.
Let's go Liberty versus Sparks.
There we go. All right. Nice work.